Coach, you mentioned that you had worked under Coach Polecat at Georgia Southern. What was it like just learning the game from him and then going on to be a coach for such a long time at one place?
Well, I've had the privilege to work under two very, very good coaches, Jim Ward, who I played for at Stetson and later was an assistant under, and then, of course, Ron back in the early 70s. But, I mean, it'd be an understatement to say I learned a lot from those guys. I can tell you right now, the one thing that you can't equate me with Ron Polk is organization. There's not a man alive that's more organized than him. He's anal about it, and I'm not that organized, so I can't tell you I took that away from him. But it was pretty neat working under him, and of course, you know, you look at all the assistant coaches and head coaches in college baseball that had the opportunity. I think that says a lot. So I was very privileged to have that opportunity back in the early 70s to we actually went to a College World Series at Georgia Southern in 73. When we were playing up here, I was telling somebody earlier, I said, I can't even remember. I think South Carolina was actually an independent then in the early 70s. I don't even think they were in the Metro at that point in time, but we always we played at least 6 games there at Georgia Southern with South Carolina and had the opportunity in 73 to go to the College World Series with Coach Polk. So I was privileged, obviously.
Just wondering your thoughts on the draw here, your team's draw in this regional.
I didn't realize, I was talking to Ray before our workout, and he said somebody called him, a friend of his, and he said, you guys, you know, you're in the toughest regional in the nation, and he said if you add up all the RPIs for the 4 teams, that this regional has the lowest RPI, so I think that says a lot right there. And like those guys said, I mean, we've had the attitude of playing one at a time, and I know that's something every coach preaches, but we have a huge game with NC State tomorrow, and certainly, you know, I'd love to stay in that winner's bracket and stay playing in the winner's bracket. But we're going to play one game at a time. We know that NC State's a very good ball club and really played well down the stretch. And as you mentioned, we scuffled the last 15 or 16 games. And those are right. We were beat up. Nick himself was beat up behind the plate. We played him at first base a lot down the stretch. And Carhart, our 3-hole hitter, was really banged up, and we DH'd him. I actually sat him some games down the stretch. You know, losing Sluter, that's been a huge blow to us, and he's out for the year. I mean, we can't dwell on it. I mean, he was 8-0 with a 1.4 ERA when he went down, and we don't have him. And I think a lot of that is scuffling has been trying to adjust our pitching staff to allow for it. You know, we've moved Coggle up and Dorsey up, and we've actually taken some bullpen guys that have been, you know, instrumental in our success in the bullpen and kind of moved them into starting roles. So the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've had to kind of play with things and see what we could do on the mound. I think we're pretty well set there now, and like I said, Nick's doing better, Carhart's doing better. Jeff himself dove the other day in the conference tournament and sprained his wrist and missed the last 2 games of the conference tournament. So hopefully he's doing better now. So I think that we're not 100% healthy, but we're a lot healthier than we were the last 15 or 16 games when we were having to sit people and we were scuffling.
Coach, what is your pitching rotation for this weekend?
Well, we know the first 2. We're Coggle will go tomorrow against NC State, and Will Dorsey, who's pitched very well for us this year. He started out as a Tuesday guy. He pitched extremely well. Didn't get the win up at FSU. We won that ball game in extra innings, but Will pitched extremely well up there, and he was our Tuesday guy, and now he's moved up to our number 2. Tucker Donahue, we're kind of playing it where a couple of our bullpen guys, Donahue and Powell, we're going to use them in the bullpen the next 2 ball games, and if we don't use them, then probably Powell will start the 3rd ball game. But right now, I can just tell you that it'll be Coggle and Dorsey the first 2.
Robert Berry said he grew up about 35 minutes from the university.
Who's that?
Robert Berry from USC.
Yep.
Said he grew up about 35 minutes from the university. Was he someone that you guys ever considered looking at?
Yeah, there's been a lot of guys. What's the kid's name? He pitched up here a few years ago. Bell was there. Yeah, he was a kid that we would have loved to have. He's right there in our backyard at Spruce Creek, and Ray's always done that. He's gotten some awfully good ones out of our area. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, we've got a great program down there, great academics. We're only 2,100 students. We're probably one of the smaller Division I schools in the nation. But we've got we always preach fit, good academic, small college environment, but a top 30 Division I program. But, it's tough for us to go head-to-head with the SEC guys. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm not going to lie about it. And we'll win one of those recruiting wars once in a while, but for every one we win, we're going to lose 9 or 10. So, there's a lot of guys that in our yard that we'd love to have that ended up, coming here or to Florida, somewhere else, ACC, SEC. But, we get our share of good ones.
Time for about 2 more questions. John?
Is it a slight to you or your guys that NC State wouldn't throw their number 1 pitcher in the first game?
I'm sorry?
Is it a slight to you guys that NC State wouldn't throw their number 1 in the first game?
No, I'm sure Elliott's going to do what he feels he's going to do. I mean, I've learned a long time ago not to judge, what other coaches are doing or decisions that they make. I'm sure he feels comfortable with certain players, and you look at matchups, and sometimes it's not a slight. Somebody could say it's a slight that they might not start Mazzoni or somebody like that against us, but maybe he feels that knowing our ball club and getting scouting reports that maybe another guy might be a better matchup for us. So I don't take it as a slight. It might find its way on the on the bulletin board somewhere, but the players would put it there. I wouldn't put it there. I just think that coaches know what they feel best about their ball club and matchups, and they're going to do what I guarantee you that Coach Avent's he's going to do what he thinks is going to be best to win that ball game tomorrow. So I can guarantee you, I don't think Elliott's looking past us. I really don't. We've been a good ball club all year. We've beaten a lot of good people, and I don't think he's looking by us at all.
Is that Elliott calling?
I don't know. Was that mine?
One more question, anyone? Okay, if not, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.